Hey everyone, welcome to Andy's Card Focus, a new series in which I'll be showcasing a variety of cards in Minion Masters. I'll explain the ins and outs of how these cards work and demonstrating gameplay where I effectively take advantage of these cards, and then I'll show you how you can counterplay these cards when your opponent uses them against you. Today we'll be looking at Soul Stealer, a card that can really help new players learn how to take advantage of ranged air units. I feel that this is one of the best cards for new players to craft because of the mechanics that you can learn while playing it in your deck. This card is also excellent for climbing quickly since many new players are not well equipped to handle its aerial ranged abilities. Let's take a look at what he has in store for us. Soul Stealer is a unit that will fly above foes and blast balls of light at enemies around him. For every foe that he kills, he will gain attack speed and will quickly become a force to be reckoned with. Each hit deals 50 damage, giving him enough power to deal with a lot of smaller minions in one hit, such as Scrats, Crystal Archers, and Plasma Marines. With 180 health, he can be difficult for your opponent to dispose of, as he will not die from a single Daggerfall or Fireball. Coming in at 500 shards to craft, this card can seem pricey at first, but you will quickly see the value that he can bring to your deck. I've gone ahead and built a simple deck that'll let us focus on Soul Stealer strength. For the purpose of this video, I've opted to build a deck that is entirely composed of common cards, aside from the Soul Stealer himself, so that it'll be easily accessible for new players who would like to try it out. Now here are some quick tips that you can use when you're trying to play Soul Stealer. The first one is that you want to wait for small minions. You never want to play your Soul Stealer if he doesn't have any minions that he can stack his attack speed with. If you wait until there are small minions built up, then he can get many stacks that'll create a large push on your opponent. The second tip is that you should avoid ranged units. Don't play him if there are already ranged units coming your way. You need to play him when there are ranges that are either distracted by something else, or when the ranged units are small enough that they won't take down the Soul Stealer. The third tip is to support with walls. I don't necessarily mean the card Wall here, the 2-mana cost card. You can support with any kind of large unit that'll move along with the Soul Stealer and protect him as he moves forward. Good examples of these can be Scrat Tank or Divine Warrior or Crystal Construct. And the last tip is to defend with spells. Make sure that when he is on the enemy side and he's taking his time to damage their tower, you need to be ready with spells like Daggerfall or Dragon Ball to take down minions that are there to knock him out the air. Other cards that are useful here are those like Bannerman or Black Hole that can help defend from spells coming in to destroy him when he's just been played on your side of the field. Let's take a look at what this card looks like in-game. Please note that all footage in this video will be taken from matches that I found while in Grandmaster. Here in this clip, I'm playing against a Ravager. He opens up with Spear Throwers, so I let them get close to me and let them throw their spears before playing my Soul Stealer. With proper timing, I'm actually able to get 4 stacks out of this. Knowing that Ravager has a short melee range, I support my push with drone buzzers. This also allows me to prep my Dragon Ball. I quickly destroy the ranged units that he plays to deal with my push. And as it turns out, he doesn't end up being very happy about this. Here we are playing against a King Puff. Seeing the Propeller Horde coming at us, we play Soul Stealer. Unfortunately, we do have to take a lot of face damage here as a result, and I do misplay a few times trying to deal with the minions on the ground. In the end though, I'm able to get a significant amount of stacks out of it. Seeing the Annihilator, I play my Divine Warrior to save my Soul Stealer. Here he has to spend a lot in order to take down the Soul Stealer, and so even though it goes down, I've gotten a lot of mana value out of it. A little bit later in this same match, my opponent has played Morgul to take the top bridge. I quickly think to play the Soul Stealer, knowing that Morgul will spawn a lot of Swarmers for me to stack. Unfortunately here, Stormbringer does take a few of my stacks from me. Seeing my opponent play a lot of cards bottom in order to deal with the Soul Stealer, I begin playing several cards of my own, knowing that the value that this Soul Stealer can bring if he breaks through here. Seeing the top bridge about to be taken for King Puff's third perk, I have to destroy it with a Dragon Ball. In the end, I'm able to win with this push. Here in this clip, we're playing against Bob. Bob is a very good Minion Masters player, and at the time of this clip, he is ranked Grandmaster 12. Unfortunately for Bob, he's playing a Volko deck that happens to be countered very well by my Soul Stealer. Here he begins playing small minions that I quickly play my Soul Stealer to capitalize on. Seeing the Crystal Archers, I play my Divine Warrior so that they won't be able to take down my Soul Stealer. Although I missed one stack here, I've built up a very strong push. I play my Flightless Dragons bottom so that I can prep my Dragon Ball to fend off any threats coming at my Soul Stealer. Fortunately, I'm able to take down the Whelp in time, and he has to throw everything he has in order to take down this push. By the end of it, he's taken over 1000 damage, just from that Soul Stealer alone. A little bit later in the match, Bob has a lot of small minions coming my way, with the only one ranged being the Stint. I decide to play my Soul Stealer. Seeing the potential threat from the Crystal Archers again, I play my Divine Warrior. We're able to build up a massive push, gaining 10 stacks in the progress. Again, I have my Dragon Ball prepped in order to deal with any threats, although he's able to take down the Soul Stealer quickly this time. Even so, we did another large amount of damage to Bob here. Right after this, we have another opportunity to play Soul Stealer. He doesn't get as many stacks, but it's enough to do the damage we need. I don't have the tools I need in order to get rid of the ranged minions attacking my Soul Stealer, but we're able to get just the right amount of damage in order to take him down shortly. For a full replay of this game, I've included a link to an unlisted video in the description. At this moment in the match against Mordar, I see several small melee minions coming towards my face. I get ready to play my Soul Stealer. Noticing the Drone Walker, I decide to play him bottom. Fortunately for me, a Tombstone revived a Swarmer, actually allowing me to gain another stack here. He throws a lot in order to take down the Soul Stealer, but I'm able to support my push well enough. Without enough anti-air units, he goes down to the Soul Stealer. Now for this portion of the video, I'll be covering counters that you can use to go up against enemy Soul Stealers. For this, I've brought in my friend Arya, who performed very well in the recent King Puff Cup, reaching top 8. I've asked her to put together a Soul Stealer deck. For my deck, I'm using a variant of the King Puff deck that I brought to the King Puff Cup. It incorporates Succubus and Dragon Ball, which are both great counters for Soul Stealers. Let's look at some tips for going up against Soul Stealer. The first one is that you want to make sure you don't panic when he's played. If you play minions too quickly or play spells too quickly, it can end poorly for you. If you send minions at him that he'll end up stacking, he'll gain a lot of attack speed, and if you respond too quickly with a spell, it may not be enough to take him down. You need to wait for him to approach, It's easier to deal with him once he's on your side of the field so that your opponent can't keep backing up with more minions and cards of their own. The last piece is to let him lock on. Letting him lock onto either your tower or onto a large minion of yours can ensure that you can take him out without him damaging any further small minions of yours. Here in this clip, Ari has a small push going with a Xiaolong and a Soul Stealer, which she decides to back up with a Bannerman. I wait for him to approach and lock onto face. Then I drop the Succubus. I do take a little bit of damage here, but in the end I'm able to take down the push. In this situation here, I wait again for the Soul Stealer to lock onto face, and then I play some air units to take him down. In this scenario here, a shielded Soul Stealer is approaching, and so I'll allow him to reach King Puff and take a hit from King Puff's basic attack before casting Dragon Ball. I try to aim it so that I can take out both of the approaching units. Situation like this, where you see that your opponent's Soul Stealer is about to get several stacks, you need to be very cautious, and if you can, try to take him down quickly before he gains the stacks. Here, I'll be playing several cards in order to prevent the Soul Stealer from getting any value. Fortunately, I was successful in preventing the Soul Stealer from getting any of the propeller scrats. In situations like these, it's actually okay to get away with playing Daggerfall to take down the Soul Stealer. Since I'm able to get some damage on the Spear Throwers, I wait until Stormbringer does the last plink of damage to the Soul Stealer that I need, and then I cast my Daggerfall. Similarly to the last clip, since the Soul Stealer is already low, I'll actually use my Spear Throwers to take him down the last little bit that I need. In situations like these, where the Soul Stealer is already approaching with units in front of him, I can just play my ranged units in the corner, and they'll take care of the entire push for me. In this situation here, knowing that Bannerman has recently been played, I opt to go for the Spear Throwers into Dragonfall, even though the Soul Stealer is still on the opponent's side of the field. In situations like these, you want to be careful about trying to take down the Soul Stealer too soon. By responding by it with a Bannerman, the whelp immediately goes down and becomes a stack for the Soul Stealer. Similarly to Bannerman, spells like Swap or Black Hole can be used to counter when you try to take care of the Soul Stealer too quickly. I hope that by watching this video, you've learned a little bit about the mechanics of Soul Stealer and aerial ranged units, whether you're looking to play them in your own decks or looking to defeat those played by your opponents. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. I'm definitely looking forward to making more card focus episodes just like this one.